So I had this jack for about a year and a half, and I threw it in the recycle bin. Well, the reason is because I was going to get rid of it. I had been lifting cars that were too heavy, like this white one here, as well as vehicles like this Tesla. If you want to find out how I repaired this jack prior, check out this video. Now, in that video, you'll see how I went step by step, 4 steps in repairing a jack. Now in this video, we're going to be checking the pistons as well as we're going to be refilling the unit with jack oil. Now, let's go. Now the location is up to you. If you want to do this in your room, in your garage, outside, it's cold in our area, so we chose to do it indoors. This is the O-rings that you'll need, as well as you're going to need the oil, hydraulic oil. We'll list all these below, as well as these other tools. They're pretty simple to use, and if you just have a few of them, you can actually get by just by using a screwdriver. This is going to be just what you need to start off with taking off a few of the bolts. But some of them are pretty hard to get off, so we'll notice that during our repair. Now, first off, make sure that the handle is turned all the way to the right. And you're going to make sure you do this right before you loosen the first 2 screws. Now for this first one, I used an impact gun, but you can use a screwdriver if you desire. That seems pretty easy, right? You're going to make sure that you unscrew this after opened to see that all of the air is coming out of the unit. The washer looks pretty good on this jack, so no need to repair that. But we just want to make sure that we double check that all of the air is out of the hydraulic jack. Listen to see if you can hear any of the air coming out, and just make sure that there's not much in there, because when you go to repair or check the maintenance on the pistons, you want to make sure that there's no oil there in the line. You'll see that a little bit later as well. Now check the second screw, and we're going to see if we can open this up. Pretty easy. And what we're going to do is double check, make sure the air is coming out as well, and see if the washer is looking good down there. I did a visual check. It looked pretty good on my end. No rips, no tears, and the bolt is not cracked either. Let's take a quick look at the springs to see how they're doing, if they're rusted or if they're bent. Let's just get a closer look at that. And now let's go through and take this guy apart. We just have a few areas to loosen. Now we're going to loosen these up so that we can loosen the yoke. The yoke is what we want to maneuver so that we can get in contact with the springs and everything underneath. These 2 bolts we'll have on the left and the right, and this will help us to be able to pull the yoke all the way down to get a hold of the pistons and the springs. So we would just extract the rod that's right in front of the yoke, and now we can get even closer to the pistons. So there we have it. This is the piece we need to extract. Make sure we don't lose any pieces, but there is our up close look of the pistons. So one thing we do want to avoid is trying to take off that round ending. We're going to leave that there. And then we're going to actually use a hammer to pull them out. Pull it right there, pull it right out. Get a little closer. If you need to, you may need a light to get closer as well. And you may notice as well some hydraulic fluid right there in the pistons. So we're going to be double checking our washers to make sure that everything is good. 9.8 by 2.4 millimeter is the one that we would use. These other tools can be used if you have to change out the washer. We looked at the washers and it looked pretty good, but we changed out one of them just in case. So everything is looking pretty good. The piston is not bent. It's not any wear that we noticed that was significant. So we placed it right back in, and we're getting past one of the most important steps in our maintenance repair job on this jack. So let's start assembling this guy back. There we have our rod we put back in. Pretty simple, very smooth. All right, it's functioning pretty well, but we still have a little bit more we have to do. One and two. This is very satisfying once you know your jack is just about there, but we're going to want to make sure that the oil is used. So we're filling this jack up. As we mentioned prior, want to make sure that it's completely open, so you're going to want to open it all the way to the right. So that's one, and then the second bolt here, second nut here, we're going to put that back in. The washer looked very well, so we're just going to screw that back in. So it's tight. Make sure you have yours tight as well. Wipe that down. And if you would like to as well, after you've tested all of this, you can even leave it overnight to see if there's any leaks, just in case there's a leakage somewhere. But as we see, it's a successful job. We have liftoff. But we still have to check this on a car as well. So we'll be doing that this time on a Mercedes E-Class. As we mentioned, it is snowing over here, but we haven't had too much issue with lifting up this car. And it's off the ground. And we are ready to go, ready to roll. So we can leave this in our garage or in our car. It's only 30 pounds. Thanks for watching.